My name is Jerry Phillips. I'm part of the coordinating team for FISH Mission Trip. FISH stands for Forever I Serve Him. Right now we're all set up. We're waiting for 62 kids and their adult leaders to make it here to San Antonio at St. Francis of Assisi, our host parish.
It was a really long bus ride. We got up at 5:45 this morning. We're meeting at Aquinas at 6 a.m. So we've got an opportunity just to hang out this afternoon, really prep ourselves for the week ahead. We're spending a little time watching the World Cup final match and just getting ready for Mass this evening and some of the activities that we'll have tonight before we get ourselves psyched up for a long work week serving the San Antonio community.
This evening we had an activity with our youth where 10% of them had a really nice meal. 20% had kind of an average meal, and then the other 70% had just rice and beans. We called it the hunger banquet.
Being part of the 70% of impoverished level was really humbling for me, just because I know that there are a lot more people in that level of poverty than there are where I am.
What we are seeking to accomplish with this hunger banquet is to just help educate and inform the students about what poverty is and the different forms that it comes in. One of those being in form of starvation, one of being in a form of malnutrition, with the goal of them being able to not only be thankful for what they have been provided, but realizing the responsibility that we ultimately have for those who much has been given, much is required.
Since I see it in my family and I see it with my friends sometimes, and they live in worse off homes than I do, it makes me appreciate what I have a lot more, just because I know that it could be gone in a second.
I'm Tony Dale-Zdave, and I'm standing in what used to be the gym of my parish, Immaculate Conception Catholic Church, the parish that I grew up in. I'm now the pastoral administrator for Immaculate Conception. When I watch these young people here working in my old parish, in really my new parish again, it really gives me a sense of how wonderfully blessed our church is, because I thought for the longest time that our teenagers were the church of tomorrow. But when you see them and see what they do, see the energy that they bring, we know that they're the church of today. And to see them blessing the church, blessing their brothers and sisters, their fellow Catholics, watching them bless us has just really enlivened me. It made me more excited about my own ministry.
What I love about doing work here and doing work really anywhere is that you're getting so much more in return than you're giving. I've been doing fish camp for a long time. I did it all of high school, and I'm in college right now, and I just came back to do it as an adult. This is the joy of my summer. This is the best part of my summer. I love getting to work and building a community within fish camp. It's so much fun to get this done. You feel so satisfied because you got a lot of work done, but you're having a blast.
My name is Norm Phillips. I'm one of the fish leaders on the construction site. The project we're working on today is in South San Antonio, and a lot of the things that the kids are working on is scraping and painting. And so what they've done is they've scraped this site already this morning. It's ready to paint. They're prepping that, and then from there they'll work their way around. But there's a number of construction issues that we're working on. On this side of the house, they've had, I think the house has shifted. It's shifted off its piers, and there's a lot of termite and rot that we're going to try to address. Then they'll end up painting from the fence line up, because if we take the foliage down below that fence line, they won't be able to get back behind there to clean that up. I've been working with fish for quite a few years. When my wife's one of the coordinators, I've had a lot of experience in construction, and one of the reasons I like coming down here is to be able to share some of my experience in construction. We can dress it up and make the house a lot more livable and for the people that can't afford to do it.
Mission trips like this are just incredibly important simply because it forces us to get out of our bubble. The bubble of affluency, the bubble of comfortability, and really to stretch ourselves to grow as Christians and to really live out that great commandment, the second of the great commandments, that is to love your neighbor as yourself. It's not just about helping the poor, but it's also about developing a relationship with God. And so there's built-in thoughts of the day, themes of the day, to help us keep our mind focused on God and to grow our relationship with Christ.
Today we had our free day. We were able to go into the city of San Antonio, and then we came over here to Immaculate Conception Parish where we did some work. They're very grateful, so they're giving us a big party tonight. You may hear the music in the background. The kids are loving dancing.
I think the neatest part about it for me as a leader was watching the kids throughout the week and seeing how they grew. And they learned skills. Some of them had never painted before. Some of them didn't know you had to scrape before you paint and things like that.
I see Christ so much doing service. That's my favorite way to praise. Like, my favorite ways to praise is to work and do something physical service, and Fish Camp gives me that opportunity to do that.
This is our last morning here at St. Francis of Assisi. We're very grateful that they've hosted us. Kids are starting to trickle in, and we're getting ready to load up and pack up all our supplies and hit the road.
This week has been a very difficult challenge. We've all risen to that challenge. It's pushed some of us beyond our boundaries.
We're hoping that they'll go home with a better awareness of what our call is, what our baptismal call is.